Welcome back, everybody, to the Basement Ballers podcast. My name is Kareem,
Brahim.
and we are back filming in our studio, ready to go on YouTube and on Spotify. So we are feeling good to be back. We're ready to give you guys all the content, and we want to first off say thank you guys for supporting all our socials, our TikToks, our Instagram, everything you want to see will be down below. But without further ado, we are the Basement Ballers, and we're going to be talking about football today, starting off with our Premier League discussion.
Now, I do believe, given current events, in light of the current fuckery I'm seeing from my team, that we should discuss Arteta.
Arteta is definitely a important topic to discuss because he is under a lot of scrutiny right now. I mean, like justifiably so. And yeah,
Look, I'm gonna say this straight off the bat, okay? The thing with Arteta is that I'm seeing a lot of people talking about how essentially he's the kind of coach that like can build a team, but he's not the coach that can take us to like the promised land essentially. Like, but basically, some person made a comparison. It's like Brendan Rodgers before Klopp. He kind of built somewhat of a foundation because before him, Liverpool were essentially like Liverpool for like 20 odd years weren't that great. Brendan Rodgers came in, they did decently for a couple of years, laid the foundation, and then Klopp came in and kind of built on that foundation. Some people are trying to say like, okay, Arteta's the same. Now, I'm gonna say this: I'm giving Arteta one, maximum two more transfer windows, and I'm giving him maximum one more year because right now, since we got eliminated to you losers earlier, we only have the Premier League and the Champions League to fight for because we're out of the Carabao Cup, we're out of the FA Cup, and we're not in the Europa League or anything like that, obviously. So, right now, what I need is a striker. I need a striker from the team because right now, like today, I was watching, and you can admit this as well. And I know you guys weren't playing your best team, like we weren't playing our best team either. Yeah, we still smoked you. We just couldn't finish any chances.
I think you smoked us in the first half.
Like first half.
First
because
half,
remember
you should have had two.
like
At
two,
least
maybe
two.
three, because Odegaard the
Yeah.
crossbar, Reece Nelson
Yeah.
in the first like 2 minutes. All
Havertz missed like 37 million chances.
Yeah, because Havertz is shit. Point
Yeah.
is,
But you guys,
we-
listen, you guys just weren't converting. It's not like you could say you were playing bad, or like you could say that Liverpool played well in the second half.
look,
Okay.
Liverpool were good, but at the end of the day,
But Arsenal were bad.
you guys were playing children, and
Yeah.
we still like it was 0-0.
Like
and then you
Martinelli
guys
was
were-
getting locked up by freaking Connor Bradley. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, here's the thing, right? With Arsenal, and this is something I noticed like this year, because the issue is that I don't blame Arteta because a lot of people are being like, okay, well, Arteta coached a great game today, so like, why are people blaming him for the fact we lost? Because some people are basically saying like, oh, well, besides the FA Cup we won under Arteta, which was it with a team that wasn't even his, like it was Unai Emery's team because he still had David Luiz, Aubameyang, all of those dudes. With his own team, all the money he spent, he still hasn't won anything. Like he was close to winning the Premier League, blah blah blah, but he hasn't won a trophy yet. And what people are saying is that why should we give him more money? Now I can agree with that because although I think that it's not his fault that players are missing sitters, that it's not his fault that his team can't finish their chances because the team itself play very well, they just can't finish. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's deciding not to start Trossard. And you're trying to Trossard, who's a center forward. You're starting Havertz, who's not good. I don't care about his purple patch. Havertz isn't good. And then you sub on Nketiah instead of Trossard. I mean, I know Trossard came on eventually later, but Trossard gets subbed in with 5 minutes left. His treatment of Emile Smith-Rowe, he barely plays him. Players that need to be benched, who he's not benching. And plus, look, the money we've given him, he signed Jesus, who's been great, but injured. And also, even when on form, isn't like an out-and-out striker. He signed Havertz for 65 million, which could have been money used for an actual striker.
For a real striker.
Kivior hasn't been good. Lakonga hasn't been good. Vieira is injured now, but even before that, it hasn't been good. Nuno Tavares wasn't good. Like David Raya right now, and this is one thing I also noticed. Ramsdale, as much as I don't think he's wow, I personally feel way more comfortable with Ramsdale than Raya. And Raya is also a player that he wants, and we're probably going to sign permanently for like 25 million. So we're giving him the money. He's just not knowing how to spend though. So that's where I blame him. So yes, you can say you can't blame him for the fact that we're not scoring goals, sure, because it's up to the players to finish. But also, he bought this whole team.
100%.
So,
Listen, the manager needs to be held accountable. The manager is usually the first person on the team to get sacked if there is somebody to get sacked. And the problem is there's no prize for second place. You guys don't perform well in cup competitions, and it's been like that since
since he got there, we've only made one semifinal since he's gotten there. That was excluding the FA Cup, which we won. Since that, we've only made one semifinal. semi-final in any cup, and that was the Europa League in 2021 where we lost to Emery.
Yeah, and
Villarreal,
last year
yeah.
you lost in Europa League to Sporting.
Yeah, but that was that was like the round of 16, round of 32.
And you, in cup competitions, you guys are not performing well. There's no prize for second place. And right now, you guys have two competitions, the Premier League, which in my opinion is kind of already like, I hate to say it's done, but like, thing is, it's not because I'm a Liverpool fan saying that we're going to win it. It's because City is also in the mix, right? And now that Kevin De Bruyne is back, it's like that is like an uphill battle for Arsenal that I don't know if they're going to willing to to push through. And especially because if you're already talking about signing all these players, it means there's a depth issue in your team that you won't. It will be hard for you to focus on Premier League and Champions League while maintaining form in both, right?
Yeah.
You guys got to ask yourself, what is the most important competition? In my opinion, for you, it's the Champions League. It has to be the Champions League. Why? Because you don't have the. I think that you've already messed up too many times in the Premier League with the Man City that is currently present for you to be competitive in the Premier League. But in the Champions League, anything can happen. You know what I mean?
Look, don't. Okay, look, yeah, Champions League, like, okay, if I was Arsenal, if I want to prioritize one thing, yeah, because if Arteta, even if we finish like third, fourth in the Premier League, which obviously wasn't the aim for this year, but we won the Champions League, which like, don't clip me on this, but I'm not saying Arsenal will. I'm just saying if they do, yeah, okay, obviously it saves them his job because it's the Champions League. But and the thing is that the Champions League as well is like right now a lot of teams in it are very weak.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of the big hitter teams. Like the only team that really I'd say like would scare me would be Man City. That's it.
You're not scared of any of the La Liga teams?
Like, no, Barca, no. I mean, here's the thing. If Barca and Arsenal do play, I mean, obviously, as you guys know, I'm also, Barca fan. I will be on Barca's side for that game, though, if they do play. But, Arsenal would beat Barca. Trust me. Arsenal would beat Barca. Madrid, I don't know, because based on how the two teams play, Arsenal play better than Madrid in terms of play style, but Madrid is Madrid. So I can never say, for sure, Arsenal will beat Madrid. So there's that. Bayern aren't that great. Like they're really not that great. Can't think of it like any of the other big hitters. What, Napoli? I mean, Napoli are playing Barca, so one of them is getting eliminated. Inter Milan, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, none of the teams really scare me. I don't know. They don't faze me that much. Like I told you, the only team is Man City, so you can focus on that. The thing is that look, there's still 3 weeks left of the window right now. So if Arsenal actually want to challenge for this league. Right now, what we need is a midfielder and a striker. Look, we need fullbacks as well, but I'm willing to wait till the summer because with the fullbacks we have now, it's not great, but like we can survive with the fullbacks we have. But if we go and we don't sign a striker and we don't sign a midfielder, then we're cooked. Because also one thing I know is that why do you think Martinelli and Saka have both been terrible this year? You want to know why?
Why?
Odegaard. Yeah. Because last year when Arsenal were doing really well, who was playing on the left side of the midfield supporting Martinelli? Odegaard.
Odegaard, yeah.
Right? Because the issue with Odegaard and Saka is because they're both this is like my personal analysis. Because they're both left-footed, I don't feel like they cooperate well on the same side together. 100%. Because right now, Havertz is playing as the left midfield role / like false nine, second striker, whatever. And then Odegaard is basically playing on the side that Saka is. And that's why Saka hasn't been good. And that's why Martinelli hasn't been good because Odegaard has to play with Martinelli. And Saka needs a midfielder for himself that he can like connect with. Because Saka's only thing is he gives it to Ben White, tries a little 1-2 with him, goes to Odegaard, it fails, and like it's not working.
The system shouldn't be built around Havertz because Havertz is not good. And Odegaard is arguably your best player. Right? And he should be placed in the best position to succeed. And then your second best player should be Saka, right? And even on his best day, he would be your best player. And he's not able to connect. Something in the system's not working. Havertz is clunking up the midfield and just like clunking up the box and not doing anything with his chances. So like obviously something there has to change. How do you feel about like Jorginho? Do you think he's the kind of player that you want to that you like for him to start, or do you think he's more of a bench?
No, he's bench. For me, he's bench. Like if put him on bench, cool. But the thing is that we still haven't replaced Xhaka, and we need a player of that mold. And I don't want it to be Jorginho because Jorginho can somewhat play that mold, but no. Like I don't know. Like obviously I'm not a scout, but like let's see, Paulinho from Fulham I would take, but he's gonna be expensive. Plus Fulham aren't gonna want to sell to another Premier League team. I don't know. There's a lot of players that like I can't think of right now, but there's at least someone who Arsenal could bring in even in January because right now. The fact that we're trying to accommodate Havertz into the system, and clearly he's not been good enough, and because of that, we're suffering. Because even the games we have won, there hasn't really been that many games this year that I can think of that we dominated a team besides PSV, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was Lyon, the Champions League. And then maybe a few Premier League games I'm forgetting here and there, but we haven't really dominated any teams this year. Last year, even though we didn't win anything, we were smoking teams 95% of the year. We were smoking teams, and then just at the final hurdle, we flopped. But this year, we're worse than last year, and we spent more money.
But take it even today how you guys lost to Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
It was a game in the first half where you're pushing, cool, and you couldn't finish. Okay, that was basically the tale of the West Ham game. Not as much the tale of Fulham.
No,
but,
Fulham we just
but the tale of the West Ham game specifically, right? So then you come back against Liverpool at home, and you're basically doing the same thing. You just can't finish, right? And then what happens, it's not that Liverpool was like this sensational team playing amazing. No, what happened is you get one really weird bounce off of Kivior, own goal. And that's like, okay, cool. Like that was the big luck swing for Liverpool. Liverpool wasn't like necessarily pressing crazy amounts. They were slowly in that second half getting better and better and better.
Yeah, they threatened a few times.
But that was more of like an Arsenal unlucky thing, right? And then what happened in the end is you guys were pushing, you guys were trying to get that goal, and then we got countered. You got countered, right?
Yeah, we got countered.
So that 2-0 is kind of like a fake 2-0 in a way, where it's like it's not really representative of your defensive ability as much as a representative of the fact that you guys are really having a hard time scoring.
That's the thing. Don't get me wrong. The performance, like we deserve to win that game. At the end of the day, like I said, the manager bought all these players, so like this is also his fault. But
100%.
I want to move on a bit. Speaking of Liverpool, because I've been seeing chat about, obviously we're talking about the league. Do you think Liverpool can win this? Like, say you guys don't recruit in January, just like with the team you do have right now, because you guys are top of the league, I think.
Yeah.
You are top of the league. So the team you have right now, because you're not in the Champions League, you're in the FA Cup, cool, but I think you're not in the Carabao Cup, are you?
No, we are. We're in semifinals of the Carabao Cup.
So semifinals, oh yeah, that's
Against
true.
Fulham.
Yeah, that's true. So semifinals, Carabao Cup, FA Cup.
We're in 4 competition right now.
But the Europa League, I'm assuming, is going to be like the last of the priority. I'm assuming.
Perhaps, but that's one championship Klopp doesn't have.
Point is, do you think with the team you have now, you can win the Premier League?
I'll tell you this, okay? First off, I'm really impressed with how well Liverpool has done this season. I didn't expect them to. I was thinking top 4. I wasn't expecting this kind of performance from Liverpool. So shout outs to Liverpool. Second thing, okay, is if we do not, based on our position now, if we do not get any kind of silverware this year, it's a failure. Right? I think we can all agree. We're in semifinals of the Carabao Cup to play Fulham. If we beat Fulham, we're likely to go on to face Chelsea. Very winnable cup.
Because Chelsea and I think Middlesbrough are the other 2 teams, and both of those teams you guys could beat easily.
We could beat them. And then in the the FA Cup, it's probably not a competition that I see us like as favorites to win. But after that Arsenal hurdle,
who else is in it? Because Arsenal isn't there. I believe Man United isn't there.
And I think Man United is still there.
So, who would be left in the FA Cup? I don't
City.
know.
City.
Point is, 1 out of the 2 hardest teams you could have faced, you guys beat.
Yeah,
with
100%.
Not even your fully
that's
full squad.
Our B squad,
so,
essentially. So that's how I'm looking at that. Now, from that perspective, if we don't get silverware this season, it is a failure, right? And the reason why is because if Klopp or like word around the street, I don't remember if it was Klopp saying this or word around the street, is that Liverpool are probably not going to be making signings in January, right? Now, sometimes Liverpool says that and then go on and do some like crazy shit. But this time around, that worries me because you're talking about a team that when people go down, we get worried, right? Because you can't just throw randoms into the team like we did today, Clark and Bradley, on a weekly basis and expect the same result. It's not going to happen. These brothers need time to build chemistry, need time to flow. It's not the recipe for success over a long period of time to get actual real wins, especially if you're trying to compete in 4 cup competitions or 4 competitions, right? So we need signings, okay? That's the reality. If we don't sign, then that's FSG basically saying, fuck it. Right? Like, that's FSG saying, basically, we don't care. Now, I said this, I've always been very critical of FSG. What they did this transfer window, plus a mixture of, like, mainly Klopp, has been really impressive. So, it's hard for me to doubt them, but also I do have doubts because I'm saying, like, we need depth in that defensive midfield position. We need depth in our defending positions because you have Tsimikas and Robertson going down, and then you have to play Joe Gomez, who's completely out of position. Mind you, he's doing a great job, but he's completely out of position, and all of a sudden Trent now has to basically play right back. And we need depth, especially in our back line, and then possibly start thinking about who we're going to get on that right wing side. All that considered, Premier League wise, bro, we can win. We can win.
Yeah, if I'm you guys, I'm prioritizing that because the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, you guys already won it not long ago. Like 2022, you won both those competitions.
Yeah.
Europa League, I mean, like, if you can win it, cool. But, like, right now, because you guys won
the most prestigious title right now in our grasp is the Premier League title.
And not only because it's prestigious, but the fact that because you guys won it a few years ago, but it was in COVID, so you guys couldn't even have, like, your parade. Or, like, it kind of feels like forgotten.
It's forgotten.
You know what I mean?
It's forgotten. It's criticized by rival fans.
Yeah.
Things like that. We Liverpool and Mohamed Salah specifically have something to prove.
Yeah, you
right?
guys need,
in
like,
terms of legacy, in terms of like this is like the best team you guys built in so long, and like probably the best team like maybe ever.
This team that you have right now.
No, like the last few years.
The Klopp,
the Klopp era.
Yeah, basically to solidify the Klopp's era, because now he's
100%.
coming up on, I think, 9 years.
If you're talking about pure quality as a team, the Klopp era has consisted of some of the best players that have ever played for Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
So if we need more silverware to show for it. We've won a lot, right?
Because you guys have won, you have
one Premier League title
one
in
Champions
7
League.
years, is it? Klopp has
Yeah,
been
one
eight
league,
years?
one Champions League, a few cups. Like, it's been good, but like I think it's gonna solidify. If you guys can just win that second league,
That second league will be huge.
Then that will be good.
For
So,
Klopp
like,
era. I think after that Klopp can like he's not gonna quit, right? Or like.
but if
leave.
he does, you guys can at least
But
be like, okay, at least
the
we
Klopp
won.
era is like
Yeah.
will be looked at as like one of the greatest eras in Liverpool history.
Yeah, well, like I told you, but like obviously we're not old enough to remember, the '80s when you guys won like I think what was like three Champions Leagues. But I'm talking probably domestically. Yeah, this probably for sure in the last 35 years is Liverpool's like best era of the Premier League. But even before that, I don't know. Obviously, like if there's for some reason like some 7-year-old Liverpool fan who
100%.
watches this, I mean they can tell us. But yeah, obviously from what I know, this is Liverpool's best team probably in history. Yeah, for sure. Because and here's the thing: you said earlier that people criticizing the Liverpool title from COVID. Here's the thing: before COVID happened, before the league got shut down, you guys were already up by like
19 points.
Like so like you guys were gonna win it regardless.
We were gonna win it, but listen, at the end of the day, there's always gonna be something for rival fans to scrutinize us on. However, mind you, you're an Arsenal fan, so you're obviously not a Liverpool fan, and so you can judge this on an unbiased perspective, right? If we did win this league, do you think we earned it?
Oh yeah, this year, yeah, for sure,
100%.
Because going into this year, no one thought Liverpool were gonna like because remember beginning of the year, my predictions were okay. Arsenal and City for me were comfortably top 2, and I said Liverpool finished 3rd. But to me, it was a third of like maybe they might finish like 7-8 points off City or Arsenal, whatever. But like they're not gonna compete for the league, So if you guys actually win the league, no one can say it wasn't coming because Arsenal were supposed to be better this year, even though they're not. But they were supposed to be better.
You guys started off the season like your September, October, November were solid.
Yeah, but even look, the results were solid, but we haven't played well all year.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, we've only played well. I think how many games we played so far this year? Maybe like 25 games, 30 maybe total. Out of those, I can only remember like 5 good,
like a handful of
like
handful of good
bonus.
Sure.
Yeah, no, if Liverpool win the league this year, because no one. I mean, you guys have to sign basically an emergency DM. Like, like no one. Like, obviously, Endo wasn't your first choice DM.
I don't know if you guys you rival fans have been keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you guys are saying he's been better than Declan Rice, and
I don't listen. Liverpool fans are reactionary, okay? They're reactionary, bro. One week they love Nunez, one week they hate the brother. One week they hated Endo for up until December, and now they can't get enough of him. They were probably about to throw him a freaking a goodbye party for when he left for Asian Cup. But what I am saying is value for what we paid for him.
How much you guys pay?
Incredible, 20 million.
Yeah, 20 million. Yeah,
20 million,
I mean, if
right?
he's pretty much been your starting DM this year. So if you guys end up winning one league title with him as your starting DM,
he started when McAllister went down against Arsenal. So when did we play you guys?
You guys played us like 2 weeks ago.
Was it no? Who did McAllister go down against? Wasn't it you?
No, because the first time we played you guys this year, to my knowledge, was 2 weeks ago when it finished 1-1.
McAllister never played you. Yeah. McAllister went. Okay, basically, my point is, whatever game that was, McAllister goes down, and McAllister doesn't play against United or Arsenal, I think, if I recall. And ever since then, that's when Endo started starting for us, like as a consistent starter. And that's when that brother clicked on and said, "All right, I gotta show these brothers what I can do." I've been really impressed with them, honestly. And but overall, the signings, when you look at them for face value, you are like, I don't know if this could work. Gravenberch was a little bit obviously like we were so on him. We were excited for him, but we were like, okay, but he wasn't really loved at Bayern, so it was like a.
Yeah, but he's still young enough, obviously, for you to.
And all these things, but then you have players like Kwanzaa, like homegrown talent, coming through and playing well for us. The youngsters that played today, obviously, it's one game. You can't really judge, but
yeah,
overall,
but we have Curtis Jones and Harvey.
Curtis Jones has been really good in December. Overall, though, we definitely have what it takes to do it. I still think that we need some signings in December, mind you. But let's talk about Man City a little bit, bro, before we continue on to the next topic. Because Man City today, because they beat, I forget who.
Huddersfield, yeah, it was 5-0.
5-0. KDB's back.
Yeah,
And
he's rocking a nice trim now.
he's rocking a
I,
nice
I
trim.
like his hair now. It looks
Yeah,
nice.
it looks fresh, man.
It suits him.
That brother looks like he's about to go to like a ball.
I'm not pause. I'm
Yeah.
not glazing as well.
Yeah, you're not glazing. But bro, like, do you think that team is scary, or do you think that the Man City era is over?
No. Like you
You
can't
can never count them out.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Okay, has this been the least I've been scared of Man City? Now, this isn't even speaking as an Arsenal fan. This is just speaking as like a Premier League fan. Yeah, this is the least I've been scared of City since probably since Pep's been there. But end of the day, it's still Man City and it's still
City,
Pep.
man.
So I'm never like if they win the Premier League, I'm not gonna be surprised.
Well, people be saying like if Pep wanted to, he could win 15 in a row.
But yeah, if he wanted to, because the thing is that Pep can. The thing is with Pep, right? Pep can coach you to win a league title even if he doesn't have like the greatest players. But at the end of the day, Pep because for example, look at all the players that look at the players that have left the last 2 years of Man City. And like I'm not surprised that even if they do end because even last year they struggled. They won at them, but they still struggled. But you look at that. They've lost Sterling, Mahrez, Gundogan. They've lost Company retired like 2-3 years ago. Aguero obviously went. Sané went. A lot of these players that went, and yeah, they've somewhat been replaced, obviously. But at the end of the day, like a lot of the you could say leaders and captains of Man City, a lot of them are gone.
Yeah.
Because obviously the only players that are still there from like the original Man City when they first came about in like 2018. You have Bernardo Silva's there, KDB who's getting injury prone and plus getting up in age, and you have, if I'm not forgetting, maybe John Stones, but he's been injured this year, and then Kyle Walker, and then I don't know, man, I don't know. Keep in mind, Rodri and Diaz have been there for a while, whatever. I'm talking about like the veterans of Man City. They've lost a lot the last few years, so I'm not surprised they've been struggling. But at the end of the day, they're still too good to like not compete.
They're too well
I don't
coached.
know if they'll win it necessarily. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but they're too good to not be up there.
Yeah, we like as Liverpool, we can't afford to drop points.
Yeah, like they gave us a chance because they had a horrible November, I believe. Like end of November to like early December,
they drew like what 3 in a row.
Yeah, they like drew. They've lost. I feel like they had a horrible like month from like late November to like middle of December.
And the crazy is like you say horrible, and they're still 3 points back.
They're tied on points with us with a game in hand, so they win that.
Oh, they have 40.
They have 40.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
So if they win that game in hand, they go 2 points behind you, and then they go, I think, 1 point behind Villa. And speaking of Villa, just real quick before we end the Premier League thing, like the recap, do you think they're still going to be able to maintain this challenge going to the end of the year? I think not, because knowing Emery, because I know him from obviously when he was with Sevilla, Villarreal, plus he obviously coached Arsenal. He's someone who, in my opinion, because he knows that Villa aren't, let's say, expected to win the league, I think he might put it to the side and just focus on I think it's the Conference League that they're in. Because that's a trophy he hasn't won yet, and plus Emery's is known to be a very good cup manager. So if I would I think Villa, I don't even think Villa are making top 4. I'll be honest. I think Villa drop off in a way people I don't know if people expect to, but I personally think they're gonna drop off not massively, but they will drop off. I'd say probably February, March time to probably 5th or 6th. Because like I told you, I'm still thinking about the prediction. The top 4, not in order, but the top 4 is Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, and Spurs. I'm still sticking by that prediction.
Yeah, the Spurs are definitely not a team to count out. I think Villa have had some shaky performances against teams that they should usually.
Yeah, they drew
beat.
I think to Sheffield, and I think Forest. They drew to Forest, I think too. I'm not sure, but
they lost the game recently.
Yeah, I don't know. Point is,
but anyway, the recent form hasn't been amazing. Which obviously, listen, at the end of the day, things can turn around. The Premier League, it's normal, but I don't think that it's a team that, with all due respect, we have to worry about. I will say though, we have played them once at home. We won 3-0. We still have to go away to them, so that is definitely a tough game to consider. We have to play Man City at home, so there are still tough games. I think that Man City game though at home could be a title decider.
Yeah, well, for Liverpool, honestly, there's still only a handful of games that are really hard in the league. Because, you guys still need to play Arsenal away, which, you guys beat us today with your B team, so I don't think you guys are going to be scared for that. but that's a hard game. You still have Man City at home, which is hard, but it's at home because you drew with them away, so you at least took a point off of them.
We have Chelsea at home. We have United away.
Yeah, United
Spurs
away,
at
Chelsea
home.
at home. Yeah, these are Spurs at home might be a bit tricky, but I think all these games you win. I think the real banana slips could be maybe Villa away or Man City at home. But even that Villa away, even though Arsenal lost, that's another one of those games where we destroyed them. We just couldn't finish.
100%. And I think and what's it called? United at Old Trafford this season has been the most vulnerable United I've seen in a very long time.
Oh, they're so bad.
Like at home, like that's a game. If Liverpool don't win,
yeah, you're gonna be disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Yeah.
Like the Anfield result was already disappointing enough, but this would be disappointing. But guys, let us know about everything that we talked about in terms of Premier League. We talked about Arteta. We talked about Liverpool's chances for the Premier League title, and we talked about Villa. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. But let's move on to.
Oh, also shout out Salah's hairline.
Oh, shout out to Salah, bro. That brother got a new fresh cut, looking good.
You
Check out our
you guys
TikTok.
clowned him into submission.
Yeah, bro. That brother had to go to Egypt just to cut his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Check out the TikTok, man. We talk about all that funny stuff on TikTok.
we talk about all that.
Run
funny
me
stuff
up on TikTok,
And you know what? This is a question of the day before we move on to La Liga. We'll just get the question of the day out right now.
Sure.
Should you be allowed to support a club if you're not from that place?
Yes.
Right?
Because I know, because some dudes like, yo, I don't know who it was, but some dudes be commenting stuff like, oh, that's a nice Scouse accent.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Liverpool's a city of, I think, maybe like max 300,000 people, to my knowledge. So you're telling me that only and plus Everton's also in that city. So you're telling me you only want Liverpool to have at max 100-something thousand followers? That's it?
But it's the most brain dead argument.
You feel me? Who gatekeeps a club? End of the day, there's way more international fans who are probably better fans than local supporters.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like, so does that mean people in England are not allowed to watch the LA Lakers?
So stop watching Madrid versus. Don't watch the El Clasico.
Don't watch the Clasico. Don't watch NBA. Don't watch NFL if you watch that. Any Olympics? Bro, don't watch that.
Yeah, so it's a dickhead comment. No, I know. It's like, bro, people should be able to watch what they want. It's just the stigma comes to the fact that we're North American, so dudes don't rate our ball knowledge.
Yeah, man. Just because I wasn't born in Liverpool doesn't mean I can't support.
You're mad at my ball knowledge.
Yeah.
I know you are.
Y'all just salty, man. Y'all just salty trying to get us to DM.
Moving on. Now, this is where I'm going to start ranting, okay?
So, let's talk about La Liga. Let's talk about Barcelona specifically.
Listen. You see this club? You see this nice club right here? It's a nice jersey, huh?
Yeah.
Xavi needs to go. He needs to go. Listen, today we played against the 4th division side with, I will admit, it wasn't like our strongest 11, but it was 80% of our strongest 11.
Yeah.
I think the only dudes who started who don't normally start are Fermin Lopez in the midfield, and Lewandowski was benched and Ferran Torres took his place, right? But it's a forward line of João Felix, Ferran Torres, Rafinha. You had a midfield of, I believe, it was Fermin Lopez, Gundogan and De Jong, if I'm not mistaken. And then the back line was, if I'm not mistaken, hold on. Okay, Balde. I think Martinez started. Point is, most of our starting 11 was there. We won the game, but finished 3-2. We considered 2 goals against the 4th division team. We had to scrape against Las Palmas the other day, a team that got promoted this year. And this is all after Xavi, 3 weeks ago, basically came out. Here's the thing. I've been Xavi out since, I believe, what result was it? God, I'm forgetting one. It was
It was a game you won, I believe, too.
Yeah, was it Valencia? I don't know. It's been like a month. Point is, I've been Xavi out for like a month because here's the thing, man. I'm seeing the signs. Listen, Xavi came out in the media, called out his players. There's something I really liked. He said, look, we are playing like shit. These players are this, that. He's calling them out. But if they're not showing a response to it, keep in mind, this is a Barca legend. Not only that, he's a footballing legend, so he commands authority in the dressing room. He called them out publicly, and they're still playing like ass. So at that point, well, you can't sell the whole team. You got to switch managers because, bro, the way we're playing right now.
What is the likelihood that all your players are just playing like ass?
Look, listen, you know the thing with Barca? Barca have the same thing as Arsenal, where Barca, I'm pretty sure, and this is a stat I told you about. I don't know if I mentioned it on TikTok or privately, but Barca this year statistically are the worst team when it comes to XG because the amount of chances we produce and just don't finish is mind-boggling. Like even against Las Palmas, bro, it was a 3v1 and João Felix somehow managed to put it. No, not João Felix. Ferran Torres somehow managed to put it to the side. I don't even know how. He did score that game, so I'm not gonna give too much shit. But point is, there are so many chances that we don't finish. Xavi, even though today he dropped him, but it was against a 4th division team, so I would have cut his balls off if he didn't. Xavi insists on starting Lewandowski for some reason, even though he's washed.
Is Roque
And-
available?
Yeah, Roque is available. He can play. He had a cameo the other day against Las Palmas, where he almost scored actually.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, he needs to make some. I get it. We have some also key injuries because obviously Pedri, in my opinion, is our most important player. Him and De Jong are our most important players because without those two in the midfield, like basically 2 out of our 3 best players are injured. Because to me, Gavi, Pedri, De Jong are our best players. To me, those 3 are our best players, and 2 out of 3 of them are injured. So the issue is that I get that we're not right now. We are having to play with scraps, and also we are lacking a DM badly because one thing that's been afflicting us a lot is we have no DM because the midfield and the defensive lines, like both of them, they're like it's not connected at all.
Yeah.
Because there's no player who's going back to the defense to collect the ball off of them and then push it up. You need a DM for that.
Bro,
None of
today's game is
You need-
so reliant on.
you
on
need
the
a
defensive
DM, and we
goalkeeper.
don't have a DM. Like we're trying to put in Romeo, who's not good. We're trying to make like a makeshift midfield where De Jong kind of drops back, but also pushes up, and then Gundogan kind of tries to play as DM. We need a DM.
Yeah.
So while some of it isn't Xavi's fault, I know that because obviously Barca don't have that much money, whatever. But I mentioned that we create a lot of chances, but that's because we have the players, but our style of play is not good either.
Yeah.
We play terribly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, in a game we might create 5 or 6 chances, which like for people might think, oh, that's good, but like no, it's like to me they're not really because of a system or a pattern. It just happens because of individual quality. I don't like there's no pattern to the way we play.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's very like we just always look tired. We look lazy. We don't.
How do you guys react when you get scored on?
Bro, it's head down, whatever. Now, granted, listen, there's been twice this year where we went down. Well, that I can remember, anyways. Few times, the 2 times we went down and we ended up winning. So we go down to Celta Vigo, and then we score 3 goals in 5 minutes to end up winning the game 3-2. And I guess Las Palmas the other day we go down, and then we scored 2 goals in the last 15 minutes to win the game. So look, I'm not saying that Barca's mentality isn't there, because Madrid gets praised a lot for being mentality monsters. Where even Madrid this year haven't been that great, but they're grounding out results because mentality. So I want Barca to also get the same praise, but at the same time, I don't think it's a good thing to just be like, oh well, we have the mentality so we can win games. No, you actually have to play well because we are not playing well.
Yeah.
And until we do that, listen, Xavi can still change my mind. Listen, I'm a Xavi out, yes, but it doesn't mean I can't go back in. But to me, it's just I don't see how he fixes this.
Yeah. You
In my
like you
opinion.
said, you can't sell the whole team.
I don't see how he fixes
And
it.
the thing is that you
Yeah.
guys, like on paper, your squad should be doing better.
Oh yeah, bro. On paper, our squad is probably the same, if not better than Madrid's. It's obviously better than Girona's, who's I think tied with Madrid at the top of the league, and it's one of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah.
But do you see me saying we're going to win the Champions League? No.
No.
Do I think we're going to win the league? No. The only thing we can win is the Copa del Rey. Like if Xavi wins the Copa del Rey, I'll give him next year. But if we go this year trophyless, then sack him.
Yeah.
Because there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for us to go trophyless. Like the league should have been ours this year. If not the league, at least the Copa. Champions League, I didn't think we'd win it, but like we need to win something because I know the Super Cup is the Spanish Super Cup's coming around. That's like the Carabao Cup. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a trophy, but like I'm not gonna value it that much, So it's
100%.
I don't know, but that's basically my mini rant. And
Let us know what you guys think about Xavi in or out in the comments. Let's move on now to your rivals, Real Madrid. So you did mention just briefly that you don't think that they're playing like that amazing, and I tend to agree because even against
it was Mallorca.
no, what was
The one
yesterday?
Yesterday? Yeah, it was. Well, I forgot. Well, the 3-1. I forgot the name of the team, but yeah, the 3-1. Yeah.
And against Mallorca as well, where
Yeah, they had the Rudiger scored.
Rudiger
like
had
the
to score in the
80th
75th minute or something like that.
Like, it
where
was like,
they've also like won games in very like late time. Bellingham scored a couple of like last minute goals.
Yeah, there's been at least 5 times I can remember that Bellingham. Yeah, like Madrid will be tied and then Bellingham just pulls up with the last minute tap.
Yeah,
Because
and so 100%. So for me, that says a lot about like Bellingham's clutch gene. We always talk about like clutch players, and I think Bellingham is that. But I think that factor has made people hype up Bellingham, right? A lot. Now, me personally, and I know you disagree, I think that Bellingham's a great player. Okay,
Yeah.
I think that given like more and more time, he's gonna be like a Madrid legend. I know that's early, but like I think he will be, right? But you, on the other hand, from based on our conversations previously, you don't think that. So explain to us why you don't think Bellingham's all that.
Look, well, no, can he be a Madrid legend? Sure. I don't think he's all that because, well, based on, I'd say I'd give it probably 3 reasons. One, eye test, because I've watched, I believe, 11 Madrid matches this year. So that's about probably like close to maybe half of their matches. Bellingham's only looked good to me in probably two of them. There was the Napoli one in the Champions League, and then there was another one against, I think it was damn, I forgot the other team. Point is, but the thing with Bellingham that I'm seeing is that, listen, unless he's scoring, which like is funny to say because he's always scoring, but unless he's scoring, I don't see him doing much. Because if you, for me, the prime example is this. Okay, I'll give you two examples. First of all, there was a video that went around between him and Chouameni trying to like ping like passes each other, crosses, whatever. And you can just tell, bro, there's a lot of basic fundamental shit that he can't do. Like his touch is off. He doesn't really have like the tech or whatever. There's that. Then you compare him to players like I saw another video. This was on Twitter. It was between Rodri and Thiago for Spain, and then dudes are just pinging the ball for fun, controlling it, whatever. That's number one. He doesn't have all the tools that a midfielder is supposed to have, which officially Bellingham is a midfielder. I know he's been playing as a second striker / false nine this year, but he is a midfielder. And two is the Barca game because Barca end up losing 2-1 to Madrid in the Clásico. Bellingham scores both goals, but basically besides those goals, he did nothing. Like I remember watching, like, and me and you did a watch on. I remember I told you Bellingham didn't do anything. Like he kept getting dispossessed. He couldn't pass. He couldn't do anything. He scores a goal, like a very good goal, which in my opinion still should have been saved. And then basically the last goal he gets is that I'll give him this. His movement is very good. He has very good movement, sure, because the second goal he got, Modric gives a pass, it deflects off, I forgot who, but deflected off the defender. Then he was just in the right place in the right time, and then he buried it. Don't get me wrong. He's good at movement,
positioning,
but like he's not great at anything. He's just big because some guy pointed this out. I forgot his name, but it's a guy like I've seen on YouTube a few times and also on Twitter. He pointed it out. Bellingham, the reason why, in my opinion, he's looking very good is because he's playing in a league. Because Bellingham is like I think 6'3", and he's pretty big. Like he's pretty dominant, and he's playing in a league that in general has smaller players. Because Spain's a league that values more technique than let's say physicality, right? So that's why Bellingham is thriving. Because a lot of the time he can just bully his.
He was playing in Germany,
exactly, right? If you put because a lot of Liverpool players are like, oh man, what could have been if we got him at Liverpool? I don't think Bellingham would have been that great in the Premier League. I'll be honest, because the Premier League's a league that basically values just being physical, being tall, and running, and that's basically everything that Bellingham does. So. Like basically, look at McTominay, right? Like obviously, I'm not saying Bellingham's as bad as McTominay. Bellingham's way better than McTominay, but McTominay is also a player that like because he's physical and big and his movement is pretty good. He gets in positions where he does score a decent amount of goals, right? But if he doesn't score, McTominay shit. He doesn't do anything else. Yeah. Bellingham's the same. Granted, that's not me saying Bellingham is as bad as McTominay because Bellingham is a way, way, way better player than McTominay. But to me, it's the same kind of archetype.
Yeah, but you know what? In general, I'm having a hard time thinking of English players that are highly techie.
I mean, Foden.
Yeah, Foden. But other than that, like, do you find anybody that's highly techie?
No, Grealish.
Yeah, but Grealish could do more, I think, as a winger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see.
There aren't that many techie English players. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So overall, I think I understand what you're saying. I think a lot of people that are doing analysis of Bellingham understand what you're saying. I think over time you might start seeing other like qualities of Bellingham come out. For now, I think he's doing his job as that center forward,
yeah,
cam kind of player. Sure, if you're classifying him as a midfielder and the other can't doesn't really pass very well or what have you, does like typical midfield things, then obviously you might analyze him differently.
Look, finally, before we finish this, like for example, okay, even though he plays for Germany, but he is English, Musiala, for example. Watch him and watch Bellingham. Both are the same age. Both play the same position. Watch the difference between Musiala and Bellingham. Musiala doesn't get the stats, but watch him how he plays compared to Bellingham. Musiala, I remember specifically against Man United. They do basically get the ball, have two players on him, and just get past him like it's nothing. Yeah. Like I'll do like one touch that'll basically give him hella spacing and just run through whatever. Bellingham doesn't do that. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. Musiala, the way he plays is to me. Like, the way Musiala plays is everything that people think Bellingham is. Yeah. Is what I'm trying to say. Because even though Musiala doesn't get the stats that Bellingham does, Musiala, to me, is a better player. I prefer Musiala than Bellingham because he can just create space out of nothing. He can create a chance out of nothing. He can do a lot of things because of his dribbling and because he's a smarter player.
Yeah. No, true. Musiala, but they're very different players, man.
They're different players, but they play in, well, supposedly the same position, even though Bellingham's playing obviously more of like a center forward this year, but like they do play the same position and they're both the same age. So like
I think Musiala would do well in the Prem.
Musiala to me would do well in any league.
Yeah.
He's like that. But you guys let us know.
Let us know what you guys think about Bellingham, though. Do you guys think his hype is justified? Do you think he's overrated? Do you think that he's adjusting to life well at Madrid? Let us know. And let's move on to our final topic of the day, which is Saudi Arabia in general. We've noticed over the last couple of days / weeks that a lot of players that have made that big money move to Saudi Arabia, Firmino, Jordan Henderson, so on and so forth,
Yeah, they're like
are coming out and saying,
regret
we're
it.
not very happy to have made that move. Now, I'm not going to say, and you're not going to say that we told you so, because these brothers are not are related to us. But a lot of us did say that. A lot of us did say that passion for money is always better than money for passion, right? Overall, you're going to see that paycheck come to your account, in my personal opinion. And if you're not enjoying your life, especially as an Englishman and living in a country where, they speak Arabic, they're Muslim.
Yeah,
they
it's
might not
obviously very different.
very different to what you're used to. Sometimes that money isn't enough, especially because not only Jordan Henderson was making like pennies at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Right? Sure, 700K a week sounds nice. Oh, it's amazing, right? But is that worth being miserable in a country that you're not particularly familiar with? As a Muslim man, or we might say, oh yeah, it would be nice to live in a Muslim country, right? But a man like Jordan Henderson, a man like Firmino, where a lot of their lifestyle choices might not be in like sort of alignment with the culture.
Yeah.
That might be difficult, right?
Essentially, it's like, so yeah, Firmino, there was that. I mean, I don't know if Benzema's unhappy in Saudi Arabia, but there's rumors he might go Man United. There's that. You have obviously, we said Firmino. There's a Henderson. There's a Ruben Neves. There's a few players that basically like you see rumors that like they're not happy, blah 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 blah, which makes me basically want to ask, and this will be like this was like officially the question of the day. Essentially, should we appreciate Ronaldo more for one, not only let's say adjusting to Saudi Arabia and like the life, whatever, like and stuff, because you don't hear like any rumors about Ronaldo being unhappy and stuff, but two, also just the fact that like he's kicking ass. Like obviously, I think he finished as the top goal scorer of 2023. And a lot of people just put that down to like, okay, well, he played in a bad league, which I don't get me wrong, the Saudi league isn't necessarily great, but also, moving to a different country, different culture, getting used to it, also playing with different people. They don't necessarily speak the same language as you. All of that at the age of 38 years, you're still scoring 50 plus goals.
Well, you got to take in like how dumb the argument of it's Saudi is when you have players that are younger than him, that are coming from also big leagues, that are coming to Saudi Arabia and not putting up his numbers. I think the closest person to him right now is Mitrovic, right? Who, to be fair, in his fairness and Al Hilal's fairness, I'm not a person who follows the Saudi league too much, but I do know, like I do check up on Ronaldo, how his team is doing every now and then. I'm a Ronaldo fan. It's in my nature, right? I'm pretty sure that the only person who comes close to Ronaldo, or even maybe, I don't think he surpasses him, but I think he comes close to him, is Mitrovic, who is a young brother who was kicking ass in the Premier League for Fulham, right?
Yeah, Fulham.
For Fulham, who is equally going to Saudi Arabia, getting his goals, scoring hat-tricks, doing his thing, right? And playing well, right? But that's a younger brother by a good margin. A brother that's in his prime, and he's putting up similar numbers to Ronaldo in the same league, right? We need to start saying Saudi league this, Saudi league that, and start saying, you know what? We disrespected Ronaldo more than we should, right? Again, players are coming from big leagues. These are big league players, Premier League players, La Liga players. They're coming to the Saudi league and they're not doing as well as Ronaldo. Does that mean that Ronaldo's playing in an easy league, or does that mean Ronaldo is just Ronaldo?
Yeah, like I think it's a mix of both. Yeah, do I think the league's obviously easier than anything you can get in Europe? Yeah, sure,
Of course,
but also,
of course it is.
Also still being able to do what he can at 38 is still impressive.
Yeah,
So.
Messi would have come to Saudi Arabia. He would have done very similar to Ronaldo. He would have kicked ass, right? And everybody would actually maybe not, but like a lot of people would have said, wow, Messi's impressive, Messi's this, Messi that. Because the reason why I say that is because when Messi was doing that in the MLS, a lot of people were saying that, right? But it just feels like sometimes the standards don't necessarily like get transferred over to Ronaldo.
No, don't get me wrong. His fan base is a cost for that.
We're a little toxic. I won't like dispute that. We're definitely a little toxic. But what I will say is that when these legends retire, Messi and Ronaldo, and obviously they left Europe, and part of our hearts have kind of convinced ourselves that they have retired.
Yeah.
I don't watch the MLS like that. I don't watch the Saudi league like that. Neither do you, right? So in our hearts, these guys have kind of retired.
Yeah, they're like semi-retired, essentially.
So, but what I do say is that we need to appreciate these brothers for while they're here. This is, for example, Ronaldo's last Euro in 2024. Maybe Messi might play another World Cup. He's definitely playing the next Copa America, for example.
Appreciate
the greatness while it's there. But that is exactly our second question of the day being, do you guys think that Ronaldo's success in Saudi Arabia should be overlooked because it is Saudi Arabia? Or do you think that we should be putting respect for where it's due? Okay? And then obviously let us know what we talked about in terms of players not being happy. Do you think money for passion is justifies making a move to Saudi Arabia? Or do you think in football or in any sport, you should always be focused on your passion? Let us know. And let us know if there's like a fine line between that. Obviously, if you're getting paid $5, like, I get it. I get it. But anyway, that wraps it up for this week's podcast. We are back officially filming in our studio again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do enjoy this more than our live content, let us know because then we'd be more encouraged to do this kind of setup. Again, we are on YouTube and Spotify. YouTube will be our video platform. Spotify, purely audio. I know we can upload video on Spotify, but we don't do that. No. So purely audio on Spotify if you guys are like that. All of our socials are down below. Our TikTok popping off. We're almost at 1,500 followers. We've been posting like consistently every single day. So definitely check us out on there. Let us know if you like our opinion. If you hate it, we're most likely going to hate it. And then Instagram, Twitter. We're also very active on Twitter. So check us out. We're trying to build that. It's still a relatively new platform. So definitely check us out on Twitter. We talk a lot of shit on there. But without further ado, my name's Kareem. That's Brahim. And this is Basement Ballers. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace.